Hello, good morning everyone. So this is my second class and today we are going to discuss the nature of logic. So in order to determine the real nature of logic, some points are to be considered. So here, first point, that is logic is concerned with mediate knowledge, not immediate knowledge. And number two, logic is concerned is both formal and material truth. And the third point is logic is both arts and science. And the fourth, that is the last points are to be considered, that is the logic is a normative science, not a positive science. So these are the points, that is the net indicates are to be considered as the nature of logic. So today I shall discuss only the logic is concerned with mediate knowledge, not with immediate knowledge. This is the first point. Here, logic is concerned with mediate knowledge, not with immediate knowledge. So now, what is mediate knowledge? Or before going to start the mediate knowledge, I will ask one question, that is, what is knowledge? Now, what is knowledge? Do you have any idea regarding knowledge? So here, knowledge is a system of ideas corresponding to a system of things accompanied by a belief in such correspondence. Again I say, knowledge is a system of ideas corresponding to a system of things accompanied by a belief in such correspondence. So here, if we analyze these definitions, knowledge, we find there are three factors. Number one, three factors, that is number one, a system of ideas in the mind. A system of ideas in the mind, this is the number one factors. Number two, then corresponding to these ideas with a system of actual existing things. And number three, a belief in such correspondence. Clear? Again, if we analyze the definition of knowledge, we find that knowledge involves three factors. The number one, a system of ideas in the mind. Number two, corresponding to these ideas, that means these ideas with a system of actual existing things. Number third, a belief in such correspondence. So these are the three factors involved in the definition of knowledge. So here, for example, we know that for example, the sun. So the sun, we know when we say that we know the sun, here it simply means and simply indicates that we have in our mind, in the idea of sun is already there in the mind. Then how that is a heavenly body of erroneous size with a dazzling brilliance around which the planets revolve. Then which the planets revolves, this corresponding to these ideas in our mind, then there also a belief that the sun exists. So here this example again I repeat, that when we say that is the sun, we know the sun. So it means that the sun we have in our mind, or the experience of the sun already exists in our mind with a heavenly body of erroneous size, a dazzling brilliance around which the planet revolves. Corresponding to these ideas in the mind, there is the sun that has actually exists in our mind, and there is also, with the help of this existence of the sun, and there is also, we believe that the sun exists. So this is knowledge, and there are three factors involved in this example. First factors, a system of ideas in the mind, that is when we say the sun exists, or when we say we know the sun. Then number two, corresponding to these ideas with a system of actual existing things. That means when we say the sun exists when we say, then immediately come to our mind that the sun exists with a the idea of heavenly body of erroneous size with dazzling brilliance around which the planets revolve. This idea is corresponding to this with a system of actual existing things. And the number third, we know and we believe that the sun exists. That means a belief in such correspondence. So here the knowledge, what is knowledge? It is, I think it is clear. Next, now knowledge already we have discussed, and now knowledge is of two types. There is immediate knowledge and mediate knowledge. Now we will discuss the immediate knowledge and mediate knowledge. So keep in mind that knowledge is of two types. One is immediate knowledge, another is mediate knowledge. Now logic is concerned with mediate knowledge, not with immediate, but we will discuss both mediate and immediate knowledge. So now question, what is immediate knowledge? So immediate knowledge, do you have any idea? No. Now immediate knowledge is that knowledge which is derived from perception, whether it is external or internal. We directly come to know the object of external world by means of external perception. And again we directly know our own mental states by means of internal perception. This is also immediate knowledge. Now again, immediate knowledge is that knowledge which is derived from perception, whether it is external perception or internal perception. So in external perception, we directly come to know the objects of the external world by means of external perception. But we directly know our own mental states by means of internal perception, that is another. Now, for example, how it is external perception and internal perception. External perception, that is the sun. Again, I will take this example, the sun and also the moon. So both are planet. So now this is the external perception and immediate knowledge. When we say the sun, the moon, immediately come to our mind that the sun exists. Already we have exist in our mind, and we believe that the sun exists, and the moon also same. When we say the moon, this and perceived by the external perception, then we come to know in our mind, immediately come to our mind that the moon is also exists. So this is by means of external perception, the sun and the moon. This is an example of immediate knowledge with the help of external perception. And the internal perception is our directly contact, but directly know our own mental states with the help of own mental states by means of internal perception. Internal perception, that is joys, sorrows, etc. So joys and sorrows. So our joys and sorrows we can't imagine without the help of mental states, that is the internal perception, that is inner things, joys and sorrows. So this is also an example of immediate knowledge. So now what is mediate knowledge? So mediate knowledge is that which is obtained through the medium of some other knowledge. The sources of mediate knowledge is inference, testimony, and authority. So again, mediate knowledge is that which is obtained by or through the medium of some other knowledge. Full stop. The source of mediate knowledge is inference, testimony, and authority. So mediate knowledge is also called indirect knowledge. Now the question is, which of these two forms of logic is concerned? But the point is, the nature of, when we discuss the nature of logic, first point that is logic is concerned with mediate knowledge, not with immediate knowledge. So we will only study the mediate knowledge in logic, that is logic is concerned with only mediate knowledge. So mediate knowledge is that knowledge which is obtained through the medium of some other sources. That is, through the inference we will get knowledge, through testimony we will get knowledge, through authority we will also get knowledge. So this knowledge come to in logic. So this knowledge, that is mediate knowledge. So again, in which of these two forms, that is the immediate and mediate knowledge, is concerned in logic? Which of these two forms of knowledge of logic concerned? Now majority of logicians maintain the view that logic is concerned only mediate knowledge, that is this mediate knowledge. There is some other sources of medium, that is medium of some other sources. This knowledge, it is given by majority logicians given by this this view. Then according to these logicians, logic is primarily concerned with the problem of proof. We want to prove the truth of something, in logic. Immediate knowledge does not require any proof, but in mediate knowledge require proof. So in this way, what is directly known by perception is certain by itself and is true in normal circumstances. The question of proof does not arise in immediate knowledge, but in mediate knowledge there is requires proof for the establishing its validity or establishing its truth. So there is the possibility of error in case of the knowledge derived from inference, testimony and authority. That means already we have studied that there are three sources of knowledge. Some sources, that is through inference we will get knowledge, through testimony we will get knowledge, through authority we will get knowledge. So these are the sources of, or the medium of knowledge. So there are such knowledge requires proof. If we get any knowledge through inference, we will require proof. If we get any knowledge through testimony, we will get proof. Then if we get any knowledge through authority, we will get proof. We will require proof. Such knowledge requires proof. Thus the view that logic is concerned with mediate knowledge only appears to be mediate knowledge to be correct one. According to, but in Indian logic or according to some Indian logicians, logic is concerned with all forms of knowledge, that is mediate and immediate. But when we discuss the nature of logic, the first point, that is logic is concerned with mediate knowledge, not with immediate knowledge. So here that is mediate knowledge, that is according to that is majority of logicians view that logic is concerned only mediate knowledge, not immediate knowledge. But according to Indian logicians or according to Indian logic, that is logic is concerned with all forms of knowledge. So these are the first point which discusses the nature of logic. So today first point, that is logic is concerned with mediate knowledge, not with immediate knowledge, is over. If any doubts, then you will comment in a comment section. Thank you everyone.